So we'll move on to announcements. September 3rd, 2021, tomorrow, is in-service day number 2, so there are no students. September 6th, 2021, Monday, is Labor Day, there's no school. And September 16th, 2021, a board meeting, 6:30 p.m., Catherine D. Milligan Community Room, right here at Fairfield High School. Okay, we'll move on to board member comments. Mrs. Shorter?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. Birding and fellow board members. Mr. Smith and administration, I appreciate you guys for getting the information together. I appreciate the conversation and the additional information, and just considering, the different points of view. I appreciate that. You guys are supportive, and eventually you'll come around. But I also want to just say happy birthday to my daughter Brielle. Her birthday is today, and I want to say happy birthday in advance to myself since my birthday is tomorrow. So don't ask the age, but it's an anniversary of the 21st, something like that. But I just want to say thank you for all the staff for hanging in there. I know it's not easy. For the kids, just continue to be safe. Parents, please send the kids with the best chances to avoid quarantine, and that is to wear a mask. If you have any questions about how to make them a little bit more tolerable, trust me, I have done a lot of reading on this. I will be happy to share any guides or anything that I have for you. But just continue to be safe and choose the mask, and let's keep our kids here in our classrooms with our wonderful teachers and staff. Just keep them out of the hospital, keep them out of harm's way. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Shorter. Mr. Begley?
Thank you. I appreciate the conversation tonight as well. We're not all in agreement, but that's okay. We've been tasked with a very, very difficult topic here to address as a district for 10,000 students and their families. We're doing the best we can. We're going to communicate. We're going to do our research. We're going to make the best judgment we can on behalf of our families. I also agree that we have recommended masking and we're encouraging it, and I hope our families take that seriously and that our students do it. I'm hopeful the letter that went to Governor DeWine and Dr. Vanderhoff from Warren County, and hopeful will be one that follows shortly from Butler County, and that progress can be made there as well. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Gundry?
I want to thank everybody for the conversation and for the information and all of the research and data that went behind the information. Ultimately, even at last meeting, I said that I think we all want the same thing. We just have different ideas how to get there. And I appreciate that we can all have that discussion without assuming the worst of each other, and I hope that others in the community can do that as well. That being said, if you don't want your kid quarantined, please keep in mind that the way to do that is a mask. The quarantine numbers do concern me. I've mentioned that several times. I'm just saying it one more time. I don't want to end up on a hybrid. I don't want to end up with kids in and out and in and out and in and out of school all year. It's not, consistency is good for them. So that's really all I have to say about that. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a nice long weekend.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to echo everyone else's sentiments on the discussion. This is a tremendous Board of Education. We respect each other, and even if there's a difference of opinion, we know that we all have the same interest at heart, and that is to make sure that our kids are learning. And so, we don't quarantine anybody. They are being quarantined by an outside body. And so, if your child can physically wear a mask comfortably in school, I highly recommend, as the rest of the board does, that they do so that they can stay in school. So, we want them to be there. The parents, or I'm sorry, the teachers love them being in class, and we want to continue that. And so we want to make this the best year ever. Right, Mr. Smith? Until next year. So, but thank you all very much for being patient with us as we had this very important discussion, made for a little bit of a long meeting tonight. But thank you for staying with us, and thank you for listening to us, and thank you for also those of you that remained here in the audience for being respectful of our discussion. Okay, with that, it is necessary for us to recess to executive session to discuss the employment and discipline of a public employee under ORC 121.22G1 and Court Action 121.22G3, pending or imminent litigation. Is there a motion to convene to executive session?
So moved.
Second?
I hear Mr. Begley and Mrs. Gundrum. Any questions or comments from the board? I do not anticipate any action to follow executive session. Mrs. Lane, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Birding?
Yes. Motion passes. We convene executive session at 8:33 PM. Thank you all very much. Have a great night.